Hey y'all, this is Jared. Listen, I was talking to my sister Lynn a few weeks ago, and she was telling me about I don't know, some friends of hers on Facebook, I guess that were kind of complaining or griping a little bit about some of her Thrive posts on Facebook and things, and also kind of the structure of the direct marketing or the direct sales type of a business. And I thought it was really interesting. I've been thinking about that for a couple of weeks now, and so I thought I'd just make a quick video. I've actually written up some different things of comparing different types of businesses before, and kind of using my background. And I've been in sales and marketing about 20 years now. I got my MBA, and so I've got a little experience in this. But yeah, I thought I'd kind of throw some ideas out to everybody there, especially if you don't really understand business and understand the value of different types of business, then maybe this might help you. So, well, first of all, Lindsay, she's a mom of three, and her husband works more than full time. I mean, the guy's gone all the time, and so she has limited options on what she can do with babysitters and things like that. So, going and getting a job for 15, 20 bucks an hour, but, not being able to commit 8 hours a day is a problem. My wife has, we have 5 kids, and 3 of them are little, and, one of them's only in 2 days a week preschool. So, she has real limited options too. And so, it's kind of one of those things where, what is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to maybe go invest a couple $100,000 into some kind of a business, like a electrical business, or $1 million into a McDonald's? Where are you going to come up with that kind of cash? So your options are really kind of limited, especially for the stay-at-home moms. But really, even guys like me that I work for a small company. I've been working here for 10 years, and so do I want to go somewhere else? Do I want to start another business, or I want to keep doing what I'm doing? And, I'm proud of what I do, and I love it, and so yeah. But if I want to increase my income, what are my options really? I can work harder. I can petition the board to pay me more. But there's lots of limiting factors on that. So, but anyway, to get back to Lynn, I wanted to kind of compare what she does with the company that I run, and it's M-Vac Systems. For those of you that don't know what I do, I got one sitting here on my conference table. This is the M-Vac system. Many people have said, this is about the coolest thing that they've ever heard of. Essentially, it's a wet vacuum. So it sprays this sterile solution right here down onto the surface, and vacuums it up, and it collects DNA. And so I market it to police agencies and crime labs all across the country, and all across the world for that matter. Essentially, this is it. My dad invented this product 10 years ago, and you can see it's all in sterile wrapping and stuff, and that's to make sure that it's not putting DNA down on evidence, which makes sense. But it's a cool system, and I love it. Just today we put out a press release about a case in Idaho. A guy named Chris Tapp he had been in prison for 20 years for a murder and a rape that he was accused of, and because they used the M-Vac on that evidence, they were able to determine that with lots of confidence that he was not the one that had raped and killed her. So it didn't exonerate him, but it did enable the judge to reduce his sentence and to just time served. And so 20 years is forever, and it's just amazing, even the thought of that. But the bottom line is, by using the M-Vac, these guys were able to, he was able to be set free. So you know, that kind of stuff to me is the coolest. You know, I get calls from detectives and people from all over the place, you know, telling me about how they've used the M-Vac on different cases, and you know, to me, it's awesome. But I love doing it, and you know, we're building it. It's been a long haul though. So, but let's talk about it. You know, my dad, it took him over 10 years of his life and literally millions of dollars to develop this system. And he did that. He started it as he had a microbiology lab there in Jerome, Idaho, and he started developing it on the side. So, you know, but 10 years and millions of dollars, most people don't have. And so, you know, and he was able to do that because he was exceptionally good at grant writing. Well, if you don't have the means to do that, or the expertise to do that, then it's really not an option, is it? But in addition to that, you know, we have tens of thousands of dollars a month of overhead, and you know, we have to have a building, we have to have a production facility, we have to be able to store all of our inventory. You know, I have to travel. Last year alone, I put in over 100,000 miles in an airplane. You know, that's just in the air. And then, you know, add all that to, you know, all the driving and things that I had to do, the hours and hours that I spent at conferences, traveling to, you know, the people the agencies that buy our system. I have to go train them. So, you know, there's a ton of things that I have to do, you know, with my business, which I'm more than willing to do. But you know, if you're going to open up a business, those are all considerations that you have to look at. Plus, what is your customer base? You know, in marketing, you have to actually determine how big your customer base is. And for the M-Vac system, you know, it's especially right now, we're focused on law enforcement and crime labs. And yeah, there's 18,000 law enforcement agencies across the United States, but you know, maybe 4,000 of those are actual customer potential. So it's really pretty limited. And you know, I'm based here in the Salt Lake area, and you know, there's maybe 8 or 10 agencies in all of Utah that would actually be customers of the M-Vac, and so there's no way I could do this job without lots and lots of travel, and so. And it's a very specific market. So, you know, it's not like I can just move to Denver and be able to you know, be successful there, or even move to Chicago or New York. Even a market the size of like Los Angeles or New York wouldn't be big enough to sustain this company. So, very, very specific customer base and market, and you know, which is fine. And it's big enough to certainly be successful in it, but at the same time, it takes a lot to reach those people. You know, I have to go to a lot of trade shows. I have to do, like I said, the conferences, and those all cost money. You know, some of these conferences, the total bill, you know, is $4,000 or $5,000 that I have to shell out in order to actually reach some of these customers. You know, it's interesting that all of those things that I talk about that are pretty common for a standard business, Lynn, in her Thrive business, she doesn't have any of those problems. She lives in Salmon, Idaho. It's a small town in you know, the north east corner of Idaho, and I don't know what the population there is, 5,000. But even when she lived in Missoula, Montana area, there's not a lot of people there either, and yet she has done in just the space of a couple of years just phenomenal things. I mean, her lifestyle is awesome, and the cool thing is she's an actual business owner. Now, the difference between a business owner and, you know, me, I'm the president of this company, but I'm not the business owner. We're just based on how we're organized. We're a C Corp, and so I'm essentially an employee. So. I look at Lynn's business and I said, you know what? She has zero in product development. You know, the Le-Vel, the parent company of her business has done all the product development, and they're continuing to do that. They have to spend millions of dollars a year on product development, and Lynn doesn't have to pay any of that. Her marketing, Le-Vel does a ton of marketing. They coordinate with all sorts of people like Emmett Smith and geez, I don't know what the guy's name, Brian Westbrook, I think, and all these celebrity types, but they don't actually pay them. I mean, these guys, they're just thrivers, just like me. I finally smartened up enough to listen to Lynn and try the product, and it's awesome. But just for the business standpoint, number one, she's a business owner. Therefore, she has all sorts of tax benefits, write-offs, things that she can do that a normal employee cannot do. All of my expenses here at M-Vac Systems, none of that counts for me personally. It's all business write-off, and so personally, I don't get a benefit as far as tax-wise, any of that. So, she doesn't have any product development costs. She doesn't have any marketing costs. All the benefits of being a business owner, meaning she can do her own hours, and she does all of this basically with her phone. But she can build a phenomenal business from even a small little city like Salmon, Idaho. And how fantastic is that? You compare what she is currently doing to maybe going and getting a job for, like, even if it was $20 or $30 an hour, by the time she's paid taxes, by the time she's paid childcare, all of that coordination, it doesn't even come close to what she's doing. So personally, for anybody that sees a lot of posts on Facebook or other social media sites, the internet is really the great equalizer. As a small business, without the internet, without the ability to do email, send out press releases like I did today, do all these kind of things, there's absolutely no way I'd be able to survive. So, the internet is a fantastic tool, and why not use it to build a home-based business? Why not use it to build, whatever type of business you're in? If you're not using the internet, you're a dinosaur. You absolutely have to have the internet integrated into all sorts of marketing things, or you'll never reach the customer base that you really need to be successful. So anyway, I just wanted to throw some of this stuff out. I didn't want to belabor it too much, but personally, I would highly encourage anybody, don't complain about what she's doing, man. Figure it out. She drives a really nice Cadillac Escalade, and it's paid for. She has all sorts of debt that she's been able to pay off from the revenue, from the money she's making from it, and she has no overhead. I don't see the negatives in that, and that's that right there is why I'm so excited that Marla has jumped in and she's doing so well with her. And so, I'll do little things like making this video and things like that. That's really nothing, but yeah, Marla and Lynn, they've teamed up, and if you're not joining them, I think you're crazy, because I don't see a downside to it. So yeah, anyway, just I hope that helps, and I hope it's beneficial. If you have any questions, let me know. But obviously, Lynn and Marla are the experts on it. But yeah, those guys. Trust me, I want Marla to be where Lynn is, because that's a fantastic place to be. So, all right, talk to you later.